All right, my people in Mathland, this is Miss Bev's production coming to you, testing the waters today with some math. And the first thing that we're going to be looking at is dividing fractions by fractions. So when we're dividing fractions, if you notice there is the chart, it says dividing by a fraction. When we divide by a fraction, use the strategy KCF. Keep the first fraction, change the division to multiplication, and flip or use a reciprocal of the second fraction. So here we go. We have 3/5. We're going to divide it by 4/8. 3/5 divided by 4/8. Now, again, the strategy that we will use is that we will do the KCF, which means that we will keep 3/5. We will change division to multiplication. And we will flip. So the bottom goes to the top, and the top comes to the bottom, and flip. The second fraction. So that's our keep, change, flip. So 4/8 becomes 8/4. Once we have that, we can now multiply across. So when we multiply straight across. So now we have 8 times 3 equals 24. 5 times 4 is 20. But we're not finished, because this is an improper fraction. We have a larger numerator and a smaller denominator. So now we have to reduce. How much times can 20 go into 24? We see that we'll get 1, and 20 from 24 leaves 4/20. But we're still not done, because 4 is an even number, 20 is an even number, 4 is a factor of 20, and therefore we can divide. So we will reduce by dividing by the greatest common factor, which in this case is 4. And now our final answer is going to be 1, and 4 into 4 is 1, and 4 into 20 is 5. Once you finish, just circle your answer so that you can see that this is the final. So let's do another one. So you have that note, those are the notes to take with you. This is the strategy that I use to keep the first fraction, change the operation to multiplication, and flip or use the reciprocal of the last fraction. So let's do another example. I'm going to use a whole number this time. So let's say we have 8 and we're dividing it by 2/3. 8 divided by 2/3. Now, in order for us to make the 8 into a fraction, we're going to put it over 1. Put the 8 over 1. Now we have 2 fractions. And we're going to use the same strategy that we used before. We're going to use the keep, change, and flip strategy. So we keep the first fraction, which is our 8. We change the operation to a multiplication. And then we use a reciprocal, or we flip the next fraction. So the 3 is now on top and the 2 is on the bottom. Now, because the operation is multiplication, we can go straight ahead and solve the problem, because when we multiply, we just multiply across and then reduce if necessary. 3 times 8 is 24. 2 times 1 is 2. We have an improper fraction, and therefore we're going to reduce, and so it's going to be equal to 2 into 24 equals 12. So there are 12 2/3 in 8 whole pieces. Okay, so today we'll see that when we divide fractions by fractions, we keep the first fraction, we change the operation to multiplication, and we do the reciprocal, or we flip or change places with the numerator and the denominator. And when we divide again another fraction, it's a whole number that we change to a fraction, we'll see how many of these smaller pieces we get out of these 8 whole amounts. So there you have it, dividing fractions, when we have to divide when fractions are involved, how when it's a fraction by a fraction, we go ahead and we keep, change, and flip, and when it's a whole number, change the whole number to a fraction and do the same concept, keep, change, and flip. We also have our notes reminding us of what to do. So until next time, take care and walk good.